Hello, fellow traders. Tis I, TheRumpledOne, coming to you on Wednesday, March the 27th. The year's 2024. Let's talk trading. Past, present, future, part 2 with Walmal. These videos are for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine and different from Walmal's. Walmal, you said I'm getting biblical on you.
You went and picked something up out of the Bible, maybe unintentionally, but what was said in the Bible was that I believe the direct quote is, worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow will worry for itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own, and there's a lot of truth to that, because the thing is, you know what? Don't worry about what's going to happen tomorrow. I can't, I got too many problems I got to deal with today, and I can't even think about what's happening tomorrow. So I think that the idea with that passage that's in the Bible, and I think it's very, very applicable to trading, is very simply this. The past has happened. Okay, can I change the past? Nope. Nothing I can do about the past. If I've done something wrong where I've hurt somebody, maybe I can go and try to go and make, amends for it. But that's really all I can do. But the most important thing that you can get from the past is what? Learn from the past. If you it's the old, adage throughout time where, if you don't learn from the past, what's going to happen? You're going to make the mistakes all over again, over and over and over. If you don't learn from the past, that's what happens. So the purpose of the past is not to dwell on it, but to learn from it. The purpose for, tomorrow is for tomorrow to come. Give you hope for something that's going to happen tomorrow. That's all it can do, is give you hope. But what we got to concentrate on is what's happening right now in front of us on our screens as traders. We got to deal with what's in front of us right now. And I think there's that not only is that true with trading, it's true with life. We just got to deal with what's on our plate. I can't fix things that haven't even happened yet. Now, at the same time, it's also the old expression, you get up in the bed that you made, and there's some truth to that too. So as you're working through your troubles of today, and it's sort of like what you need to be doing is setting yourself up for the future, And so what does that mean? Well, in trading, it's what do I say all the time? Preserve capital at all costs, because there won't be a tomorrow if I don't have capital today. That's just the truth of the matter. So no matter what I do today, I got to go and make sure that I'm preserving capital, and whatever I do today, it's got to be learning from the past. That's my 2 cents on past, present, and future. I know it was pretty quick, but I think that's just what we need to get. We got to get from it, and live by that. And that's the hard part, is living by it, because it's easy for me to go and say it. It's something I battle in my life every day, and probably will for the rest of my life, or at least while I'm able to function and think. Because you as humans, we're going to go and we are going to dwell on the past. We're going to remember the glory days. We're going to remember the bad days. And those things can sometimes just take over our lives and just become a part of us that is not good, because it's not productive. We can beat ourselves down, and we can cause all types of whatever. It's sort of like, I told Hero yesterday I had a really bad day of trading yesterday, and last week I had a really bad day, and both times, after doing lots of analysis of what was going on, because yesterday it took all afternoon yesterday, go back and look at both days, and am I doing something wrong? And I can't find anything I'm doing wrong. I mean, I'm following my plan. It's just that, in a period of roughly 7 days, I had 2 bad days. Well, that's going to happen. It doesn't happen very often, but it's going to happen. And the thing is, what I could do is just really start doubting everything I'm doing. And the next thing I know, well, I'm going to trade better tomorrow. And the way I'm going to trade better tomorrow is I'm going to do this. I'm going to change my plan. There's no call to change my plan. There's no reason there. I mean, there's nothing that this plan that I've been on now has worked for the last 4 years. Why would I go and change it now? That's a really ridiculous thing to do. That's actually, it's now been 5 years this plan has been working. Why would I change it in a substantial way? It doesn't make any sense. Now, have I made changes to that plan over the last 5 years? Absolutely. I fine-tuned it, but I didn't go and find basically a new method. I didn't go and find a new way of, doing things. I refined it so that I could go and, go and actually be a better trader through it. Yeah, that's okay. But I'm not going to go out and, okay, well, you know what? I've been going and trading these horizontal lines now for 5 years, and it's worked for me. And I've had 2 bad days out of the last 7. You know what? Tomorrow I'm going to be trading. I'm going to be trading some squiggly line. I'm going to trade the MACD. I'm throwing this all out. I'm going to MACD trading. I'm going to go to Elliott wave trading. I'm going to go to this trading or that trading. That would be ridiculous and crazy, and that would be focusing, focusing on the future, because I got to get things better in the future, as opposed to just dealing with, the reality of what just happens. Life happens, and you can't control every element. I'm sitting here trading in a market where there's literally over 1 million people trading with me and against me, all at the same time. And I have no idea what these other people are doing, because they're not in the room with me. And because I don't know what they're doing, all I can do is look at the charts and use my method and say, I think this is where the market's going to go. I'm going to speculate that this is where the market's going to go. And based on past performance, I've been right more times than wrong, and therefore I'm going to go and stick to it. I'm going to follow it through. Now, if all of a sudden I go through 3 months of every single day I lost, well, that's a different story, but that's not where I'm at. So, comments?
Yeah, well, I was really thinking more from the psychological terms, where I've received some, correspondence from traders that, they've been having a hard time, and they're, worried about, can they trade, and the market's, gone against them, and what method, should they switch methods? Should they, they want to look at this and look at that. And I was saying, you got to focus on the day. You got to focus on the here and now. This trade, not the last trade, not the next trade, but this trade.
Right. Absolutely. And you got to focus on, at the end of the day, if you're scalping, you look at it differently than if you're position trading. Let's say if you're position trading, you got to look at, why did the trade go bad? Okay, why did the trade not work out? That's probably a better way of saying it. Why did the trade not work out? Did the trade not work out because the trade just didn't work out? Or did the trade not work out because you didn't go and employ your method properly? Let's say you're going and, you're a structure guy and you're using, order blocks or something like that. Okay. Well, the problem with order blocks is that I can look at a screen and I can find, dozens of order blocks on for any instrument on any day, but only 1 or 2 or 3 of them actually work out. Okay. So what is your method for going and, disqualifying some of them? Does your method even take that into consideration? And you need to go and figure those things out. So I know I'm talking methodology again, as opposed to psychology, but I think it actually breaks into psychology, because I think that's where a lot of us get into trouble, is that because we haven't thought through our method in enough detail, so that what happens is that we're sitting out there and we're playing the market, and we haven't thought through all the possibilities. You go and play a game of chess. If you're a master playing chess, the reality is you're playing 5-6 moves down the road. You're not playing 1 or 2 moves. And if you're just sitting out there and you haven't figured out how to go and, again, go and looking at order blocks, haven't figured out how to disqualify some of those order blocks, you're only playing one or two moves. You're not playing the 5 or 6 moves. This is a game where you got to play 5, 6 moves. That's just the reality. And there are some shortcuts to it, in the sense of, there's some things that you can employ to go and say, okay, I'm not smart enough to think 5, 6 moves out. But if I do this, it eliminates some of those moves. And I can get to the jumping point. And the jumping point is this. One of the things that, for instance, that I know, Kiro, you do, one of the things I do, is that we like to look at the statistics. And when you look at the statistics, I don't need to know all of the reasons why it gets from A to B. All I need to know is that 60% of the time it gets to B. And so then what I got to do is I just got to figure out, okay, how do I put in wide enough berth around that trade so that I don't get taken out just by cause of, market movement. And, which means that what do I have to do? I've got to go and reduce, I may have to go and reduce my lot size. And if I reduce my lot size, I'm able to go and put a bigger stop loss around it. And by doing that, I can get to point B. Do I make as much money doing that? On one particular trade? No, I don't. I can't make as much money because I'm not risking as much money. But that's okay because, again, it comes down to being able to go and have a winning percentage. And by having a winning percentage, I can go and, again, preserve capital. That way, when I take my loss, I take my loss. It happens, and that's just the way it is. And so I want to taking, less losses and, less of what happened to me yesterday where I had a losing day. And that's what I'm trying to prevent having losing days or losing weeks or losing months. Are you going to have losing days? Yes. You're going to have losing weeks? Yes. Maybe even losing months. That's going to, that's just the nature of trading. But what we're trying to do is lessen the risk of it, lessen the amount that it affects us. And then that ties into what you're saying in terms of psychology. Because when you're able to go and take care of that part of the equation, your psychology is going to be positively, affected. At least that's how I approach things.
Right. Well, because the other thing, what I was saying about the past, present, future is that your success shouldn't be incumbent upon the trade you're in.
Yes.
Because
absolutely.
And that ties in with your preserved capital. I mean, it shouldn't be a do or die trade.
Right. It's sort of like yesterday, I went and took a loss, and I think the other day I took the loss was on Thursday of last week. Okay, and so those 2 days, I took two pretty big losses, but it was within my limits. I was within what I was willing to lose for the day, and so did it drop my account size? Sure it did. Did it take me out of the game? Absolutely not. In fact, the way I've got my risk management set up, I would have to go and take, I think it's 17 days in a row I have to take as losses. You get to the point where I've got a problem where I've lost 50% of my account. Okay, that's going to take an awful lot. I mean, even a bonehead like me can't do that. And that's how you have to go and set yourself up. Now, people say, well, my account size is only $500. How can I do that? Well, guess what? If your account size is only $500, well, maybe you should be trading dimes, and that way you just keep on adding it. If you keep on trading dimes, eventually you're going to have $600 and $700, and then you can start raising it, and that's how you move ahead.
Right. And you know what, fellow traders? The fastest 15 minutes in trading is just about over. But I had a 1 minute chart up with the 3-level ZZ. And you can see here we had made a new bottom. We moved up and now we're heading back down again. And it's just one of those things where, we had flip-flop boxes. We had, coming out of the rat zone and it's just one of those things where you can take that trade, and I saw an opportunity to make, either 1 or 2 pips, and a lot of people poo-poo it, but sometimes that's all you need. Because remember, traders, it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks. This is the Rumple one, over and out.